Guys, today I'm gonna bring you to visit the most expensive Malaysian car in the world. No, it's not a Perdana. What's the price? Let's say the same price can get you a Bentley Continental GT.
If you want to buy a Bufori, this is the only place you can do it. Jerry won't come to you, and you can't order one by mail.
I was looking at something that I comfortably can sit in, enjoy the driving of a sports car, and yet has got that vintage look.
Leonard Chen is a wealthy businessman from Thailand who's about to make a down payment on one of these showpieces. Unlike cars he's bought in the past, it's not as simple as walking into a showroom and driving out in a new set of wheels.
So if I can trouble you to turn your back. And the idea of this is to make you feel as absolutely comfortable as you can possibly be in the car.
We discovered that each Bufori is handmade like a fine suit. And like a tailor, Jerry sizes you up for a perfect fit.
Let's stand up nice and tall. 22.5 inches is the length of his arms. Sorry, don't mean to be embarrassing here, but has to be done.
Take a look at the steering wheel. Handmade. The seats? That's what he's getting measured for. Even the frame is handmade to fit the customer's legs.
It's literally tailor-made to the individual. It doesn't matter if you're 7 foot tall and 7 foot round. I guarantee to make you fit in the car like a glove.
That's why buyers like Leonard will have to wait up to a year to drive it. Here's something else we found out. Because each car is built to spec, Buforis are one of the few nameplates in the world not made on an assembly line.
So we make everything there except the house, the light itself.
So this adaptive
This is an adaptive lighting system
that you made yourself?
that we make ourselves. So it not only goes up and down,
Yep.
but also goes left and right. Okay, so it's pretty much what it does. It also sees oncoming traffic. So when it sees oncoming traffic, either it moves the light away from them, or it shuts the high beam down. Okay, and does all of that sort of stuff.
So you have everything that a
Every-
modern... I drove an XC90 Volvo
Whatever
today.
you've
You
got
have
in that car,
everything.
this car has.
You have everything.
And I think
they
we've got
have.
a lot more as well.
And you guys do the adaptation,
All in-house.
everything in-house.
Yes.
When were you born?
I'm only 25 years old.
I suspect he's born before the Industrial Revolution.
But I'm only one guy. There's 100 people here. I can't take all the
Well,
credit.
we have a German here.
That's
We're sure Germans do wonders.
That's a lot of work done for
I'm
100
not
for 100
responsible for
people.
that. It's not work for 100 people. It takes 100 people to design that. If you get a Hella, they'd have 100 people designing that part. Yeah. But we make the whole thing.
Oh my god. So they produce their own tools to make their own
Yeah.
parts.
But you got to do it. Otherwise, you can't make it work.
Yeah, yeah.
From there, and this is the car that I basically lost my friends, I lost my family.
Oh.
Everyone went against me when I built this car. And when the car was completed, everyone wanted to be a friend again. And then I built 2 cars for my brothers, and each time I built them, somebody would buy them. And they were basically the models of the cars that they did. We started in Australia, but we're essentially all Malaysian. And more Malaysian than Australian.
Yeah, yeah.
You see the typical pose of the brothers and I. So that's in the 1987, and then 2001, and so on and so forth. To give you an idea of what the undercarriage of a Bufori looks like, and we have this saying that the invisible on a Bufori is as beautiful as the visible, and we mean that in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Down to the finer details. Other car companies don't find this thing important. It's really important to us.
Yes.
And even though we're made in Malaysia, doesn't mean we take things lightly. We don't take it for granted. No one can see a bit of black paint and it should be right. We don't do that. So everything we do in this company is about making it the best we possibly can.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's really something very difficult for people to really comprehend and understand.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. It's also a good exercise for the guys to learn their skills and learn something new.
We'll explain why we do plastic cars. Come, we'll go to the back and we'll come back.
Look at that. This is the Geneva, and wow. Okay.
Not this one in the back.
Not that, huh? All right. I won't show that.
This one, okay.
Yeah, sure. Wow. Is why buy Rolls-Royce?
And there's a very good 8-speed transmission.
The ZF is a very good transmission.
This one I can show. Yeah. That's a beautiful two-tone paint. That is beautiful. In the 80s?
Yes. And
Wait, your first car?
No, first car was just fiberglass, but the second car had Kevlar,
What year was that?
1986.
1986.
Yes.
You made a carbon Kevlar car.
Yes, that's right. 1987 we made Kevlar, not carbon Kevlar, Kevlar.
Kevlar cars.
In 1987.
That is earlier than the McLaren F1.
That's a long time ago, and no one knew. See,
No one knew about
no
it.
one understood this. You know, it was a crazy thing to do.
Okay,
And in
before
those
you,
days,
were there
Kevlar-
anybody
No,
who...
nobody. Even the people who used to make the Kevlar and sell Kevlar, you know, could never understand. So you imagine in the era when there was no such car like the Bufori, these cars, everyone look at the car and they would say, "My God, that looks like $1 million motor car." So we started using Kevlar in every single car that we produced from the day after the first car was ever made. And that's really the fundamental of what we do. That's how it all started, and we've evolved it over the years. And today our carbon Kevlar expertise is second to none. You know, I don't think there's anyone on the planet that does what we do. In fact, we've just discovered that a technique that we've been using for the last 20, almost 30 years is now applied by the aviation industry. Instead of us doing what they do, they're now doing what we do. Okay, and basically the aviation industry now, you're talking about commercial airlines, they've got their demand has become greater, and they used to produce vehicles. They used to produce aircrafts using pre-preg materials. And because their demand is so great, they can't afford to have more capital expenditure. They've got to increase the productivity without having more capital invested in the molds and tooling. So they came up with an alternative technique known as resin infusion. And that's what we do. Everything we do is resin infused. Okay? So in the composite industry, there's many different systems, from the typical hand lamination, which we don't really do, to vacuum bagging, which is a real entry level of an advanced composite. And then we do resin infusion, and then you've got pre-preg, which is really the ultimate. And what we're going to show you today, I mean, I could have shown you if I'd known you wanted to see this. We could have done a sample panel for you, but we can arrange it another day. Basically what we've got is carbon Kevlar, just so everyone knows what it is. The carbon is the black stuff.
The black stuff will be carbon.
That's carbon. And carbon is used to make Formula 1 cars, golf clubs, tennis rackets. It's really, really light, really strong. The problem with carbon though is the moment you bend it beyond a certain point, when this is just raw fabric, it's all laminated. So when you put a resin with that, the moment you bend it beyond a certain point, it just fractures and breaks. And splinters. If you watch Formula 1, you see how it shatters, and it's like a sheet of glass. You drop it and it breaks. That's the problem with carbon on its own. Kevlar, on the other hand, if I just take one strand, now Kevlar firstly is the strongest man-made fibre on planet Earth. Kevlar is a trademark of DuPont. We use DuPont products. Kevlar is actually an aramid material. It's a synthetic material. And that piece there can carry 250 kilograms of shunted weight. That means you can carry the weight and drop it. It ain't going to break. Okay, so don't try and break it. I know you're strong, but you're not going to break it. But just to give you an idea, we take a really small strand of that. If we can try and get one continuous one, even better. And I know one of you guys is strong. It's as thin as your hair. Just be careful with your fingers. Just try and break it. No, you try and break it. Pull it apart. Be careful with your fingers,
I'm not even going to try.
Don't cut yourself.
No.
So it's as thin as your hair, and you know you'll break it, but you might actually cut your finger at the same time. So incredible stuff. Now, what also makes this really incredible is see that corner there. If you try and wrap any fabric around a corner like that, you're going to get a pleat, whether you like it or not. You know, when you do your gift wrapping for Christmas or Chinese New Year, you wrap a box and you're going to have pleats. And if you've made a card with pleats like this, out of these materials, that becomes a vulnerable point. Okay, so what happens is, how do we get the strength in this material? How do we get structural integrity? And that is by allowing this fabric, when you weave it, allow it to be able to be massaged into shape. and that's what they've done. So the fabric is woven in a unique pattern, in a unique manner, that allows us to weave, to massage it, and there are no pleats.
Wow.
Okay, and it doesn't open the weave. Inside is still nice and tight.
Wow. So you guys
We
develop
don't develop this. No, we don't.
Okay,
Unfortunately, I'd love to take claim for it,
Yeah.
but we've had a lot to do with it,
Yeah.
but we don't develop it.
I see.
Okay, so and we used to talk to the weavers about the difficulties that we used to experience,
Yeah.
and they always come up with solutions for us.
Yeah.
And you'll see different types of weave, and we use different weaves in different applications.
Mm.
And then what we do is we take all these materials and we place them into a mold.
Yeah.
And in a body of a car, like a Bufori,
Yeah.
you'll get up to 12 layers of this material in the body of the
12
car.
layers.
Yeah. And then we put a couple of magical things on top. We
Yeah.
call them consumables,
Yeah.
but one of them is like a sheet of silk, which is only temporary. Then we put this thing called a bleeder. It looks like a fishnet.
Yeah.
Then we put a plastic bag over it. And among all that, we put what we call a manifold, one at each end. And basically, we suck all the air out. So now there's just fabric in a mold
Yep.
with no resin,
Yep.
nothing at all, just
Yep.
fabric by itself, and no air. So we've just exhausted the air from the mold. We literally suck all the air out
Yep.
until there is zero air, and then the thermal process will take place from there. Now you also look at this, there are no joints.
This is how
These
many
are
layers?
internal, that's only one.
One
But
layer.
there are no joints inside, okay? So to bend any fabric like this around all these complex curves,
Yeah.
that's really tough.
So this is with resin to
That's
give
resin.
it a shape,
And
right?
you can feel how dry it is.
The texture.
The texture also. What a lot of people don't understand, composites don't get their strength from the resin, they get their strength from the fabric.
Yeah.
And the more resin you've got, the weaker it is,
Okay.
not the stronger
Yeah.
it is. You need to be able to control the amount of resin to fabric ratio. That's really challenging, very, very
So
challenging.
the function of the resin is
Just to keep the fibers together.
okay.
So the fabric is where the strength is, not the
Ah.
resin. Okay? And
So
the resin is just to keep it all together. So just to give you an idea of what else we do,
Yeah.
we make the lights for the car. These look like a piece of nothing,
oh my
but
god.
that's the mold that makes the lights. And these are produced quite a few hundred pieces. Very high quality component that comes out of these. We make the mold to make the
own
lights.
lights.
Yeah, and we make the lenses, we make the housings, we do the whole thing. Yeah. These are deformable molds. So if you make this part in there, it's a very complicated shape. It's
Yeah.
a tweeter housing. Okay, and these are the
Tweeter
tweeter that goes on the door
Yeah.
post to the car,
Yep, yep.
the A-pillar. And if you see these parts in real life, you're going to think, how the hell did they mold it? Because
Yeah.
it's so intricate, it's all undercut. But these molds are designed to deform, so the mold will flex,
Yep.
allowing you to remove the part without damaging the part, without damaging the mold.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the beauty of these sort of molds. Even here we make things like all the foam on the car, things like the seat cushions.
You make your own
We
foam.
make our own foam. So even down to the armrest on the door. Now, that's a molded armrest. And basically we've got metal plates, a wire frame, and there are magnets on the mold. And you
Is
just
there
put...
anything here that you outsource?
No, we don't outsource anything.
Everything is
Yes.
inside.
You put the metal frame on there,
Yeah.
and you pour a chemical in the mold, you close it, the chemical expands, and when you open the mold, this comes out the shape of the mold. That's how it's made. Okay? We make things like... These are called forgings, composite forgings, and they're basically carbon fiber brackets.
Yeah.
Okay? And really, really strong. You can't make that in steel and get the same strength for the weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? And we use carbon fiber, pure carbon. Yeah. We do things like these are for K&N air filters. We don't make these for ourselves. We make them for other companies as well. And we make these also in exposed carbon. They're much lighter than aluminium. Don't say it.
Yeah.
This is a model that is. We've been trying to stop this model for a long time.
Yeah.
Almost 3 years now.
Trying to stop.
We've been trying to stop producing it.
So one of
It
our
doesn't
startup-
comply to the pedestrian friendliness.
Yeah.
Because of the shape of the body and the headlights and the driving lights and the bumpers.
If we update the powertrain, then it doesn't comply.
If we update the powertrain. So to update the powertrain only isn't a solution. It's mainly the pedestrian friendliness of the car.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to stop it. It's also a good thing because it increases the value of the car by doing that.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we've got a deal where if someone comes in, they really have to have it, and we scrutinise and we're sure they're the right profile customer. And if they order a Geneva, then we'll produce them a La Jolla.
If somebody orders a Geneva, then they have the opportunity to order this.
Very, very limited. Really, very limited.
Yeah. Wow.
Have a look at this. Now, this is
your.
it's really, really strong. The impact resistance of these is unbelievable. They're multi-layered bodies.
Yep.
So you've got an outer skin, you have an inner skin, and then you have a reinforcement in between.
Yep.
So imagine a box section,
Yep.
and then inside that box you got another reinforcement in between.
Yes.
That's basically how these are constructed. Typically identical to the way mass-produced cars are made. Only difference is we use composites
Instead of plastics.
instead of plastics.
Wow.
And this just gives you a quick view of what they look like. Oh, you can't see it. Normally you see the inner structure, but
No
it's all
worries.
been covered up.
No worries. These are the bare materials.
That's bare material. Yeah.
Wow.
But we'll show you more exciting stuff in a minute.
Sure.
So what we do is we'll test the car once, use it for something, and we'll do unofficial tests with the rest of the car. Because the rest of the car is still safe and still usable.
Yeah.
So it's already compromised, but we still comply.
The thing is that for you guys, each car is so precious.
Yeah, it's a rare commodity for us.
The red one is just
It doesn't look like very much, but that's actually where these are chassis dukes.
Yeah.
And that's where we build chassis. At the back there we build doors, we build these doors, we build floor tanks, we do all the seat frames, we do every mechanical part you can think
So
of.
this is a jig.
These are jigs.
So you make your own jigs
make our
so
own
that
jigs,
you can.
and we
Those are
put
aluminium, right?
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel.
All our chassis is stainless steel.
Okay.
All our chassis.
All right. Yeah. I'm covering it up. Don't worry.
These are cross members
Yeah.
which we build.
Yeah.
And basically that's for a La Jolla.
Yeah.
That's a rear cross member, that's a front cross member.
All right.
And we do everything we build is left-hand drive and right-hand drive.
Yeah.
And that's where we build our engines. We assemble engines.
Yeah.
We've got a new engine now. We've got a new sports car coming out with a 750 horsepower V8.
750 horsepower V8.
It's 6.4. Oh,
I mentioned the
Heavy.
Hellcat. I mentioned the Hellcat, but
The Hellcat.
it's not a Hellcat.
Okay. Yeah.
it's the 750 horsepower. The new engines we've got. Maybe I'll save that for when we go to the Geneva and the CS.
so the suspension, the entire suspension
It's
geometry
ours.
is designed.
It's all ours, 100%. The shocks are ours, the springs are ours, they're all purposely made for the car.
It's
We don't
area
buy
of
off the
interest.
shelf. Yeah, we don't buy them off the shelf.
You made them yourself.
We make them ourselves, yeah.
Wow.
And we, to be honest with you, we actually just stopped making shock absorbers
Okay.
because there are people that can do better than we can.
Yeah.
And that's one of the probably one of the only things really that we don't do
All right.
Yeah.
in house anymore.
Yeah.
And wheels, we used to make our own wheels and we stopped that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not much more to that.
But what about your engines?
The engines are the Hemi engine from the
Okay.
US.
All right.
Brilliant.
Oh,
They are brilliant, yeah. Truly, they're
Brilliant.
brilliant.
Reliable.
yeah.
Lightweight.
Reliable, they're hardcore. Yeah, they're refined.
Yeah.
They've got a steel crankcase, cast iron
Yeah.
crankcase, but the rest of the engine is just absolutely bulletproof.
These engines laugh at German engines.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They're hardcore engines, okay? No, they've got the efficiency.
Oh well.
Yeah, he's German. They've got the efficiency. They're actually rated as one of the best engines in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
500 horsepower,
Yeah.
and the fuel consumption is outrageous, unheard of. You know, for such a big engine, very very high horsepower,
Yeah.
high torque,
Yeah.
very very efficient.
Even I
Mul-
heard even
multiple
the LS7.
displacement.
LS7.
No,
is
it
very-
leaves them for dead.
Yeah.
And the sound of that Hemi engine, there's nothing like that. Have you
Okay.
ever heard one?
Yeah.
The sound of it is just
All right,
divine,
all right.
really divine. Before we do this, we'll go upstairs.
Do we go up? All right. Okay. You have to stand in front of the Geneva to understand its sheer scale. This car is massive. Massive. Wow, the upholstery. Oh. It's could
we
be
can't
the
we can't go over there, but in that factory office over there,
Yeah,
that's where
yeah.
we build the wiring harnesses. That's where they do computer modules. We
Yeah.
actually make hardware, and we do software. Okay, so that's where they do all the electronics.
You train everyone in your company.
Pretty much. I mean, these are all electrical and electronic engineers,
Yeah.
so they can teach me a few
Where
things.
were
but-
you before?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Huh?
another question for another day, I guess. Yeah.
Were-
So that's where we do the
Were you
crazy
born before the
electronics.
Industrial Revolution?
No, so that's where they do. That's where they do electronics. This
Yeah,
is where we
yeah.
do upholstery. All the leather work is all
God.
done here. You'll
Con,
see.
once our business stabilizes, I'm gonna resign and I'm gonna apply here.
Okay.
That's,
I
your
can sweep the
sandwich.
floor or whatever.
Yeah, man.
So the great thing about collecting let me turn this, a Bufori is that because the factory makes every single component yourself,
Yeah, we do.
so I can collect a Bufori and 30 years later,
You can stick it-
I can collect a part
Well,
from you.
What's interesting about what we produce is,
Yeah.
unlike conventional motor cars, a part a part fails, a shock absorber fails,
Yeah.
you throw it away and get a new one.
Yes.
On a Bufori, you don't do that.
Alright.
You pull the shock absorber apart, you service it, you put it back together again.
Brilliant.
The door hinges, the door locks, every component in the car is all designed to be rebuilt.
I mean, I won't end up in a situation whereby, say, for
you can't get
example,
parts.
15 years ago, I bought a Mercedes CL
Mm.
600,
Yeah,
right?
today you can't buy parts
But now
for
I
it.
cannot buy parts
That
for it
won't happen
anymore,
with a
and then the
Bufori,
car's
yeah.
value is crap.
Yeah, you
Brilliant.
won't have that problem before.
Brilliant.
Firstly, the car is designed so you can service it
Yeah.
forever.
You guys are pretty old school in that
But
sense.
we've also been around for a long time. We're 30
Yes.
years,
Yeah.
under the same ownership. That's a long time. That's commitment.
So the art of 19 pre-war European car making art lives on in Malaysia.
Yeah, it does. It does indeed. This is
Because Ferrari, Porsche, they all don't make cars like this anymore.
no, they don't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is colors are limited by imagination. So whatever color a customer wants, they can have, and there's no limit to the color. This is just a tool to give them an idea of what they're going to get.
Yes.
So we'll paint swatches like these for them.
Oh my god.
Then we'll place the swatch in there, and then you get an idea what the car's going to look like. Okay.
This
But
is
you're not
brilliant.
sure if you like it, so
Yep,
you
yep,
can
yep.
tweak it a bit.
Yep.
Put that in there. And colours are limited by imagination. So if you bring us a flower or a butterfly or a piece of fabric or
Yep.
tell us what you want, we'll find
Yep.
a way to make that colour for you. Even special effect colours like pearls and things
Yep,
like
yep,
that.
yep.
And then you can see really what it's
When
going to
did
look
you
like.
design this tool?
Well, this is not designed by me, to be honest with you. This is designed, but
When did
before
you
the year
guys start?
2000.
Before the year 2000.
Before the year
So it's
2000.
in the 90s.
Yeah, late 90s.
So
Around 98, 99, something like that.
ah.
And just to give you an idea, you like the
And-
colours but don't like the
And
combination.
we were impressed with Rolls Royce, you know, that mold thing
Yeah.
that only allows you to change two parts.
No,
Brilliant.
same
This
colour,
is
different
brilliant.
combination,
Yeah.
and
Oh, this is brilliant.
gives you a pretty good idea what you're going to get. And once you've chosen the colour like this,
Yep.
then you see all the models we've got in the factory downstairs. Then we'll go and
I
paint
saw
this
this
for
in
you.
the paint shop just
Right.
now.
And then we'll paint this, and then you sign the car and you accept it, and this becomes your.
Can we bring our cars here to paint? It's a
Yeah, you
beautiful
can,
colour.
yeah.
It's made of the same materials as the original car. So
It is,
carbon
yeah.
Kevlar, and then you have a leather base. The leather you
So,
chose.
so you have the
goes on the
same. So the paint reacts the same way as how it will.
Exactly the same, yeah.
Be.
So if
This
they,
color is beautiful.
if they don't like the color, then will you redo it?
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just trying to collect more
Yeah.
pieces to put at home.
at one point we charge them.
Yeah.
You should.
There's at least 200, at least
Yeah.
200 colours in our colour range. But more important than 200 colours is this. Look at all the different textures of leather. Okay, so all the different grains.
Yeah.
They're all corrected grains. So the natural leather really doesn't have a nice, very nice grain. So we've got 200 colours, and then you've got so many different textures.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then just to confuse you a little bit more, we've got maybe 15 or 20 perforations. You see the holes?
Yep.
They look similar, but they're totally different.
Yes.
And it's these
The
little
density is
details.
different.
It's these little details that
Yeah.
car collectors, auctioneers will talk about
Yeah.
in 30 or 40 years' time. You know, you didn't just choose perforated leather.
Yeah.
You've chosen, which perforated leather in which part of the car.
Oh.
And then you got carpets. Yeah, we've got the best carpets in the world. And these are dear as poison. You've got to sell the house to pay for them. It's all German. It's really, really
Very
pricey
nice.
stuff.
This is really nice.
Expensive stuff. So when you talk about quality, you could sleep on it. You would too. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. And even the threads, you know, you can choose how many threads per inch. You can choose the color of the thread, the size of this thread. You know, limited by your imagination, truly. Here's another example. There's a steering wheel.
Yeah.
You know, we build steering wheels. We make the steering wheels. We heat them for the European countries.
Yep.
And they're all hand sewn. You know, they're all done in house.
Yep.
And which is what we do. Come, I'll show you something a bit more interesting. You don't see this
Heated steering wheel, and you made it yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Come and look at this.
Were you born before?
No.
Oh, I can see where we're going with this.
Okay, so this is. This,
Light off.
yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And this is a starry night.
Yeah.
Like no other.
Yeah.
There's 700 stars in this hood lining.
Yeah.
Okay, that shows you what they're going to look like. These, of course, get trimmed at the leather height.
Yeah.
So they're all excess wire at the moment.
Beautiful.
Different diameters.
And these have got a twinkle wheel, so that each star will, each fibre will actually change brightness. You have a blackout and brighten, and colours are all, you know, multicolored. The best leather in the world.
Really
So
sweet.
it doesn't get better than that.
What do you call this leather?
It's, well, the brand of leather is one thing. The type of leather, it's all cow leather,
Yeah.
but it's just, you know, the
This
finest
is the really
cows.
smooth ones. This is the
Well,
ones
they
that
call it Napa.
Napa
Okay,
leather.
Napa is a process.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Volvos all they use this. The new
Yeah, but
Volvos.
no, Napa is a process. So you can buy Napa leather, for example,
Ah,
made in Germany, made in Italy, made in
yeah,
India.
yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Okay, it's where you get the leather from.
Yes.
The cow itself is also very, very important.
Yes. Yes.
So the cows that our leather suppliers, cows,
Yeah.
are bred for the hide, not for anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're protected against scratches, insect
They don't have
bites,
barbed wires and
no
all
barbed
that.
wire,
Yeah.
electric fencing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the big hides, really big hides, and that's really what it's all
I
about.
think Bentley source from the
Yes, so
same
we use
area.
we use among the
Yeah.
leathers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the leathers we use are even much higher than the leathers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're not using good quality leather. We're using the best quality.
The
leather
best you can find.
you can buy.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed. I'm lost for words because the kind of pre-war European car making romanticism lives on in Malaysia. Can you believe that?